CEO of Alex's Supper Club. I'm on a mission to get as many of you cooking one meal a day as possible. Okay, so today we're going to be making a healthy carrot cake. Bit of an irony in that name because cake and healthy doesn't really go together, but we're going to get it as healthy as we possibly can. So we've got no dairy, we've got a vegetable oil instead, and we've got a lot of fruit and nuts to go in there. And the cream cheese topping at the end is optional, and if you want to keep it really healthy, you're going to have to leave that one off because we can't get away with that one. So we've got some flour and some caster sugar. This is really simple, this recipe. We're literally just going to put everything in and whisk it up. Grated carrots and vegetable oil. And we're going to break in 4 eggs. And again, if you want to keep this healthy, and if you can afford it, it's better to use organic eggs and free range if possible. The better ingredients you use, obviously, the better it's going to be for you, and the tastier it's going to be. And then we've got some cinnamon and ginger. And again, you can mix around the spices for this. You could use mixed spice, allspice, whatever you fancy, or you could leave it out altogether if you're not a fan. Baking powder. And we're just going to put it onto our whisk here. We're going to try and put it onto our whisk here. So just start slow so that the flour doesn't spray everywhere, and then just up it as it starts to mix in. Just want to give it a really good mix just to make sure the baking powder's all through there and the oil and everything. And once you can see there's no lumps, just turn it down and take it off. Now, you could bake it at this point because it's ready to go. But I think it's nice to add some extra bits and pieces and make it really tasty. And while we're being healthy as well, it's going to be lots of nuts and fruit. So we've got some mixed nuts. I'm using pecans and walnuts, but you could use whatever you fancy. Some sultanas. Some pineapple chunks. And then some crystallized ginger with some of the syrup. And again, all of these are optional. You can change it up if you want to, or leave them out. So we're just going to fold these in. The reason I didn't put these in the mixer is that you'll start to crush and break up all of these pieces, and I think it's quite nice to have chunks rather than everything sort of being a big mush. And once that's all nice and folded in with no lumps, we're just going to take our tin. So we've just got some greaseproof paper lining the tin, and we're just going to pour this into the tin. And this is the bit where, if you've got young children around or people who love licking the bowl, this is when they usually appear. Just flatten it down if it needs to. So we're just going to put this in the oven now at 170 degrees for about 30 to 40 minutes minimum, and then check it, and then it might take up to an hour depending on the size of the tin and how you have the cake and your oven. So the carrot cake's been in for about an hour now. It does vary on your oven, so you're really going to have to just check it. So I'm going to take mine out, and I'll show you how to check it so that you know what you're doing. But basically, all you want to do is actually just touch the middle and the top, and you need it to spring back up. So you want it to actually just spring back up underneath your finger. If you press it and it sort of feels soggy or gooey, just pop it back in the oven and keep adding 5–10 minutes on the timer until it's ready. The other test is with a knife or a skewer, and you just pop the knife in and pull it out, and it should come out clean. But do remember there are quite a lot of moist ingredients in here, so when, you know, there's a little bit here, but that's probably from the pineapple. So really the best test is the springy one, and the fact that it, you know, it looks golden brown, and it's been in for an hour now, so it has to be cooked. So we're going to leave this to cool now. It's going to take a good few hours because it is a big cake and there are a lot of dense ingredients in there, and then we're going to come back and make the icing and ice it. So it's the final step to the carrot cake. We're just going to make the icing, and then we're going to put the icing straight on the cake. So I've got icing sugar and some stalk margarine. You can use butter if you want, whichever you prefer. I just find this works better because it's softer so it's easier to beat in, and some Philadelphia cream cheese. And I've got a bit of milk here, but we're just going to start whisking and see, because if all the ingredients are very soft, you won't need it. But if you're finding that your icing is too sort of hard, then just add a drop of milk. Cool. So just start slowly, otherwise you'll have icing sugar everywhere. And then put it up fast once it's mixed. Okay, so we're just going to check it, and we're just going to scrape down the sides and give it one last mix, just to make sure that all the butter and Philadelphia is mixed in. And this is looking really soft, so it doesn't need any milk. But again, when you make it, if it's too hard, just add some milk. And that's it, icing done. It's really that simple. I'm just going to take the whisk off. Give it a shake, move this out of the way. And then we're literally just going to put the icing straight on top of the cake. And again, if you want this cake to be healthy, leave this bit out, because this bit is not healthy. So, but it wouldn't be carrot cake without it. And then we're just going to take a palette knife and just spread it on. And it's up to you if you want it to drizzle down the sides or not, but you basically need to just spread it over the top. This will set more if you do leave it, and some people love the crispiness of the top when it goes like that. Personally, it doesn't last long enough in my house, but it's up to you. And if you are going to keep this cake for a couple of days, if it lasts that long, you do need to keep it in the fridge, because this is cream cheese, if it lasts that long. But if it's just a day or two, it's fine, because the sugar will keep the dairy from going off. And that's it, healthy carrot cake-ish.